Hey folks, I had been given a request slash felt it was necessary that I make a video explaining the Goron missile to enter Stone Tower Temple without the elegy of emptiness. And the reason I want to explain this is because it's a bit more nuanced than you would think. Now, when you do a Goron missile off of a slope, you gain a vertical velocity and a horizontal velocity, as opposed to if you did it on a flat ground, you would just get a horizontal velocity. In layman's terms, if you do a Goron missile on a slope, you go really high most of the time. And that's good for this because we want to climb this tower, but it's also bad kind of in a speed run because if you gain too much height, you actually end up falling for like a really long time. And you want to minimize that. You want to get the optimal amount of height so that you get to the top and it doesn't take forever for you to fall down. Now, there's two ways that you can control the amount of height that you get off of a Goron missile on a slope, and that is by controlling the amount of speed that you have, and by controlling the steepness of the angle that you are facing when you do the pound for the missile. Now, just for an example, the way I'm facing right now, if I were to do a Goron roll and do a pound to do a Goron missile, this slope is quite steep. So you probably end up going very high, as opposed to if I angled this way, the severity of this slope isn't quite as steep, so you actually wouldn't end up going that high. Because of that, I think by controlling the angle at which you do this Goron missile, it's actually a much easier way to get the optimal amount of height, because if you roll at full speed, that's a consistent speed, and if you roll at a consistent angle, that's a consistent angle. It's very difficult to get a slower, consistent speed while doing this Goron missile, because to get a slower speed to be consistent, you either need to pound at a very specific time at the beginning of a Goron roll, or you need to hold a very specific position on the control stick. Like, you can't hold the control stick all the way out. You kind of just need to give it a very exact love tap in the direction you want to go. So I have determined that getting a good angle is probably the best way to get the optimal height. So what I like to do is, there's this switch here, and I like to stand at the edge of the slope on the right side of the switch. I'll put on the Goron mask, and then I like to aim between this hookshot post and the wall that these boulders are falling down from. And so you see it's right about there. I like to use the camera on the middle of the 3DS at the top, like the actual physical hardware camera within the 3DS, to determine what the middle is. So this is the middle right between them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my item so that I can do Goron missile. And as soon as I'm going to take the picture. As soon as you cancel out of this, I'm going to, of course, use the bow and then curl to get the Goron missile. And then I am immediately going to hold, straight. I'm going to wait for Goron to accelerate all the way so that he's at top speed. And then I'm going to hit the B button to pound. And as soon as I hit the ground from the pound, I'm going to cancel it with the A button. Because this should give me the perfect amount of speed and height to get there by canceling the Goron missile essentially as soon as I start it. So once again, I'm going to take the picture, hit the Y button to use the bow, hit the A button to curl. And as this is going on, I'm going to be holding straight up. I'm going to hit the B button to pound once I'm going at full speed. And then I'm going to hit the A button as soon as I hit the ground from the pound to cancel it immediately. And without further ado, it's going to look something like this. Wow, that was anticlimactic. I think I canceled that too early, or I didn't actually do RI. When I talk through all the steps, I mess it up. That's fine. Fine, I'm not redoing this. Yep, that's good. And now I'm just holding straight back. I hit the ocarina so that I can gain control once again. And I accidentally locked the camera with the L button, so you can't see exactly how high I am. But that was substantially less time falling than it could have been. Just for reference, I will show you how high it actually goes if you want to go really high. And that amount of height isn't very good. And so yeah, you can see right now I'm like way above where I want to be. So I'm actually way above the moon. It's actually going to take me a really long time to fall, which is why this setup is so important to do it the way that I described. I know I took a really long time to describe a lot of things in this video, but I wanted to make sure that people really understood the method behind my madness so that they weren't making dumb mistakes while trying to replicate this. So for the most part, it's just get the right angle, stand in the right spot, get the right angle, and then cancel the Goron missile basically as soon as you go. Oh, and roll at top speed. Those are the most important parts of this setup. And if you do all those things, it's quite easy. And I would say very consistent. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped.